All right, thanks, guys. We are currently 8-2 in our last 10 board member package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire college football season. If you want more information about that website, click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, we got ourselves a couple games tonight in college basketball, so let's go ahead and begin. Starting off with Penn State taking on Georgetown, 6:30 Eastern tip-off. Georgetown is minus 2.5 total, 149 and a hook. We saw a 1.5 point move toward Georgetown and movement upward on the total. The Hoyas open -1 up to minus 2.5. Total open 148.5 up to 149 and a hook. 53% of the consensus are leaning toward the Nittany Lions of Penn State. 56% shaded toward the over. Right now, Penn State's plus $1.15 on the money line. The Nittany Lions are also 2-0 straight up on the year, 2-0 against the spread in those couple of games. Stevens is averaging 15 points a game, 6 rebounds. Jones is averaging 12 points a game, 5 assists. And Watkins is averaging 10 points a game, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Now, Georgetown on the other side failed to cover in their first 2 games of the year. They were 0-2 against the spread on the season. They also failed to cover against Central Arkansas in their last game. Their defense is allowing 73 points per game on average in this very short season. And total-wise, both teams' last game went over the total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it up, and take Penn State plus 3 and the over 149.5 in that game. Next matchup, UL Monroe taking on Mississippi State. 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Bulldogs of Mississippi State are minus 15.5. Totals 134. We saw a 0.5 point move toward Mississippi State and a movement downward on the total. The Bulldogs open minus 15 up to minus 15.5. Total open 137 down to 134. 63% are leaning Mississippi State, 73% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Warhawks of UL Monroe are plus 1,100 on the money line. Now, UL Monroe, they're 2-1 straight up on the year, and they've actually successfully covered a point spread against Texas A&M. They were plus 14 in that matchup, and they almost won. They were actually in a couple spots to win. A close loss in that game for them. Now, UL Monroe is led by Williams, who's averaging 19 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. Ertl is averaging 19 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals as well. And White is averaging 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and 5 points for the Warhawks. Now, on the other side, Mississippi State is 0-2 against the number on the year. They failed to cover spreads of 15.5 and 16.5 respectively. Of course, those were both lays of 15.5 and 16.5. Their offense scored just 67 points versus Sam Houston State this year. Now, total-wise, Mississippi State is 2-0 to the under at home. UL Monroe 1-0 to the under in their lone game away from home themselves. I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it up, and take UL Monroe plus 16. And the under 134 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Thursday's college basketball action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 8-2 in our last 10 board member package plays. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire college football season on that site. Now, what we do on that website is we have daily premium plays beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. A lot of folks will ask me, what's the difference between your YouTube channel here and your Patreon website? Well, what we do here on YouTube is we pretty much handicap every single game on the board, both side and total. Now, if you were to do that in real life and bet your hard-earned money on every single game available, both side and total, you are guaranteed to lose in the long run. The books are too smart, they're too good, and the math is always against you. So what we do on Patreon is we really dial it in and focus on 3 to 4 premium selections, high percentage selections. They're actually personal plays of mine, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my record on Patreon is a lot better than it is right here on YouTube. And you can actually check out that record for free right now. All you got to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/brockpage. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Towson taking on the Gators. 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Florida's minus 17.5. Total's 129. We saw a half a point move toward Florida and movement downward on the total. The Gators opened 17 up to minus 17.5. Total open 130.5 down to 129 even. 55% are leaning Florida, 54% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Tigers of Towson are plus 1,200 on the money line. Towson's 2-1 straight up on the year. They defeated George Washington in their season opener, 72-58. Houghton is averaging 17 points a game, 3 rebounds. Fobbs, 14 points a game, 5 rebounds. Thompson is averaging 9 rebounds, 2 steals, 6 points. Towson's defense held their opponents to 58 points or less in 2 out of their last 3 games. The Gators on the other side, 0-2 against the number on the year. They failed to cover versus North Florida in the season opener. They were the 21-point favorite in that game, by the way. Now, total-wise, Florida is 2-0 to the under thus far in the year. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take Towson plus 18. And the under 129 in that game. And we're going to slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Michigan State taking on Seton Hall. 8:30 Eastern tip-off at the Prudential Center. Michigan State is minus 5.5 away from home. Totals at 140. Now we saw a 2-point fade of Sparty and a 4-point move downward on the total. Michigan State opened 7.5 down to 5.5. Total open 144 down to 140. 62% are leaning Michigan State. 51% shaded toward the under. Right now, Seton Hall is plus 190 on the money line. Now, before you go ahead and start betting Seton Hall today, Miles Powell is out tonight with an ankle injury. He's averaging 14 points, 3 rebounds on the year. Michigan State, on the other side, one of the better defensive teams in the country. And, of course, offensively, Winston is averaging 19 points a game, 8 assists. Henry's averaging 13 points a game, 2 steals, 2 blocks. And Tillman is averaging 12 points a game, 9 rebounds. I think Michigan State's going to be a little bit too strong with Miles Powell out of the lineup tonight for Seton Hall. So I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Michigan State minus 5 and the over 140 in that game. We're going to slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/brockpage, where we are 8-2 in our last 10 board member package plays on that site. I like Michigan State minus 5 over 140, Towson plus 18 under 129, UL Monroe plus 16 under 134, and last but certainly not least, I like Penn State plus 3 and the over 149.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs, once again brought to you by patreon.com/brockpage, where we are hitting at 67% for the entire college football season. Shout out to John Lee, Money Time, Robert Ritchie, Ulysses Hayes, Asher D, Jay Williams, Shotgun Shell 80, Josh Benedict, Ariel Perez, Cody T, Ronnie Christie, Josh CTK, Pittsburgh Gentleman PA, World Be Free, Proline Master, Square 707, Steam PS4, and last but certainly not least, shout out to Markinson Angerville. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/brockpage, where we do daily premium selections on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. The difference between Patreon and this YouTube channel is that Right here on YouTube, we handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. And if you do that in real life, if you bet every single game, side and total, you will lose in the long run. The math is against you. The bookies are too good. What we do on Patreon is we narrow it down and focus on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're higher percentage plays. They're personal plays of mine, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my record on Patreon is a lot better than it is on YouTube. Link for that site is in the description section below. You can check out my record right now. All you got to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.